This is an incredible story, my friend. You'll want to pay attention. You see this bottle here? It's a chemical formula, but like no other. People don't want you to know the truth about what lies inside. Big business, pharmaceutical companies, and governments around the world are trying to suppress it because if the truth ever got out, they would lose billions and there would be riots in the streets. It changed my life and it can change yours too. It's been around for a long time. It goes by various names: the elixir, the formula, the serum. Let's just call it the potion. What's it made of? I can't tell you that. But it's organic, 100% organic. Where did I get it? Well, a friend told me about it and kindly sent me a link to a website where I purchased it for a reasonable price. It arrived the next day. Quite convenient, actually. Wait till you hear what it does. It cures headaches, toothaches, backaches, pains, sprains, and migraines. It's your gain. Sore throats, bunions, bad breath, sciatica. Take it for sleepless nights and animal bites. It cures gonorrhea and diarrhea. It's a panacea. Men, rub it on your head if you're going bald. You'll feel young if you're getting old. If you're blind, it'll make you see. If you can't go to the toilet, it'll make you pee. If you're crippled, it'll help you walk. If you're shy, it'll make you talk. Just add a few drops to your coffee or tea and you'll be irresistible to men and women. You'll see it'll help you lose weight and win friends. Business problems, you'll make money. I'm not joking. This is not funny. Are you ready to try it? And what does it cost? The price? Well, normally it costs $1,000, but at the moment you get a 90% discount. Yes, that's right, only $100, but only for a limited period. The clock is ticking. Can't you hear it? So buy now or you'll miss out on the bargain of the century. Who's buying? Let's see the colour of your money. We accept credit cards, debit cards, PayPal, bank transfers. Don't worry, my friends. If you've got money, we'll take it. Listen to Zeitgeist Banana, our podcast all about the English language. You can find it on YouTube and all good podcast platforms. Greetings grammarians and welcome to Let Them Talk TV. You know, there's never been a better time to learn English. You've got so many resources at your fingertips. Loads of great teachers on YouTube teaching English for free, as well as some excellent paid resources. You've got books, you've got online courses, you've got apps. And this video is about the best practices for learning English, or another language, I guess. But I also want to talk about briefly a number of, shall we say, dubious methods that have been brought to my attention, and these methods are advertised all over the internet. These are fake methods and they are after your money. So I just wanted to warn you about that. These people know little or nothing about teaching. What they do know is marketing, sales, and a touch of psychology. And let me show you how you can recognize these fake methods so you don't waste your money and you can use your time on the good methods. And I'll come to, in a second, my top tips for learning English. First of all, they have fictitious claims and unbelievable promises such as learn English without grammar, learn English without effort, learn English without study, learn English in just 20 minutes a day. Basically, they say what you want to hear. I'm afraid that the truth is you're going to have to study, you're going to have to work hard and, yes, learn some grammar. But the good news is that if you do it right, you'll enjoy it. Avoid schemes that are fronted by a charismatic leader who claims to have invented an incredible method. With a genuine method, it's about you, it's not about them. This leader usually has an origin story, and it goes something like this. One day I was learning English, Spanish, whatever, and the teacher was giving us verb tables to memorize. And these lessons were a waste of time. And then I left the class and I thought, no, we don't need grammar to learn a language. A baby doesn't learn grammar, and kids are fluent. And they might speak the language they're learning pretty well, but probably in reality they learnt the language in the traditional way. But that doesn't fit in with the narrative, so that's why they have this ridiculous story. Avoid methods with acronyms or names, such as the Bigwig method, the XYZ method, the John Thomas method, the Wallob method. This is to give some kind of pseudo science to their ineffective method. Avoid methods with extraordinary testimonials. For years I've been studying traditional methods, but then I tried the Wallob method and it's been a revelation for me. Now, at long last, I can express myself confidently in English. Beware of the pseudo-religious terms like a revelation. This is to give what marketers call social proof, but they are often fake testimonials. There is usually a bit of psychology. You failed in the past because you've had the wrong mental attitude. We can fix that. Then comes lots of platitudes like, you don't learn a language, you acquire a language, and other such trite remarks that they picked up from some marketing seminar they attended in the early 2000s. Avoid the unbelievable offers. The price is high. Normally, the Wolof method costs $4,000, but for a limited period, we're offering 90% off. Can you beat that? And if you buy today, we'll throw in lots of other stuff that you don't need and you don't want absolutely free. They make you feel like you're getting a bargain by telling you that you're getting 50, 60 or 90% off their arbitrary full price figure. It's nonsense. Who makes up these figures? I've even seen 97% off. Can you believe that? 97% off. And it's strange that you never see the full price figure. If it was ever sold at the full price, it was done so perhaps for 1 millisecond at 4 a.m. on Christmas Day. Avoid limited time offers. The special offers claim to be time limited. This is what marketers call the law of scarcity. You're more likely to buy something if you're pressurized to do so because it's only available for a short time. And the thing is about the time limited offers is that they're not time limited. They tell you they've only got a few hours to decide before the 90% off deal is taken away and the clock is literally ticking. And yet, come back in a week, a month, and the amazing time limited offer is still there. Nothing has changed. Buy now or you'll miss out. No, don't buy now. Spending money on education is always worthwhile, and there are many great courses out there, but don't waste your money on snake oil. Without further ado, here are my top tips for learning English or any other language. And by the way, I don't claim that this is a secret or a revolutionary method. I think that most good teachers or linguists will have a similar, if not identical list of suggestions. So number one, learning a language is a skill that you learn and not a talent that you are born with. Anybody can learn a language, young or old. I know that's not really a tip, but it's so important that I thought I'd better point it out. Number two, it takes time to become good. The more you study, the more you will learn. I know this is pretty obvious, but it's worth pointing out. Here's a shocking fact for you. If you study 2 hours a day, you'll learn more than if you study 20 minutes a day. Mind blown. If you study 5 hours a day, you'll learn more than if you study 1 hour a day. It's the same if you are learning the guitar or how to become a computer programmer. The more you practice, the better you get. There are good methods, there are bad methods, but there are no shortcuts. Let me just give you an analogy with running a marathon. You can improve your time by training, by wearing good shoes, but you'll never run a marathon in 20 minutes. Learning a language is a marathon and not a sprint. To get good requires studying. Yes, are you listening? Yes, you can learn English to some extent just by speaking with natives, and if your ambitions are limited to having basic conversations, then that's okay. However, if you want to become good, reach a high level and express yourself in spoken and written English with lucidity and finesse, then you'll need to study. Learn the 4 elements: reading, writing, speaking, listening. If you study hard and you speak a lot, have lots of interesting conversations, but also read, write and listen, you will make progress. In a few hours, you'll be having simple conversations. It'll take a few hundred hours to reach a good intermediate level. It takes a few thousand hours to get to proficiency in a language, and it is estimated that to really dominate a language as a native speaker does, to become bilingual, takes about 10,000 hours of practice. That's several hours a day for 10 years. Of course, it depends on what language you are learning, but that's a ballpark figure. Learn some vocabulary and some grammar, then have good conversations either in a class or with people who are fluent. Read things that you find interesting. Set yourself realistic goals, perhaps 10 words a day, a point of grammar, 1 or 2 idioms, and if you do that every day, you'll make steady progress. Everybody is different. You have to find the rhythm that suits you. That's another thing about these fake methods that I mentioned earlier. They try to show you that there's only one method which is efficient, and of course it's their method. But the truth is, we are all different and we learn in different ways. Our brains are configured differently. I made a video about that too. Check it out up here. However you do it, you still need to do the basics. Read, write, listen and speak. And yes, learn some grammar. Grammar is the 5th element. You will need to learn some grammar. People tell you that you can learn a language without grammar. And yes, you can, but knowledge of grammar will make it much, much easier and quicker. You can open a door, a locked door with an axe, but it's quicker and more efficient to use a key. Here you are, a key. Actually, it's not a key, it's just the card to get into my hotel room, but you know what I mean. I don't actually have a key at the moment, I'm in a hotel. Anyway, I made a video about grammar, learning grammar up here somewhere. And anybody who tells you that it's not necessary is just peddling the snake oil that I mentioned at the beginning. Of course, grammar can be taught badly and it can be boring. But if it's taught in the right way, in the context of real life situations, it's a fascinating subject and it'll open the door to language acquisition. If there is a magic potion, then it's grammar. That's the fifth element. Don't learn a language without the fifth element. If I can bring in a comparison with mathematics, kids learn adding and subtraction and division quicker if they use maths in everyday situations such as personal finance or buying and selling things, rather than learning abstract formulas written on a blackboard. But they're still learning maths. It's the same with grammar. You want to learn it in a way that is relevant to your daily life, but you still have to learn it. Now, one tip that I give is, from time to time, go out of your comfort zone. That people don't learn language in a linear fashion. You know, you start with the basic elements and you work up to the advanced. That's not really how we learn. So do something extraordinary from time to time. Read a page of something that is far too difficult, just once in a while. Learn a few lines of Shakespeare. Memorize a poem from a famous author, just to give a bit of fantasia to show you what it's like at the end of your journey, your language learning journey. So avoid the fraudsters and those who peddle false hope and promise miraculous results and manipulate people with high pressure marketing techniques. Listen, there are no secret methods. Ignore 90% discounts. Ignore the glowing testimonials. Ignore unachievable promises of these charlatans. Don't waste your money. Instead, be prepared for hard work, sweat and tears, and I promise you that you will be fluent in English or any other language you're studying. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in good time. And most of all, enjoy the journey. You're traveling first class with 3 square meals a day and an open bar and breathtaking views from above the plateau. When you do a job well, you enjoy it twice. Once while you're doing it, and a second time when you look back and see that all that hard work and effort has paid off. It's the trip of a lifetime, and the prize at the end is magnificent. Over to you. What do you think are the best ways to learn a language? And have you ever seen any of these scams in the language industry? Share your experiences in the comments section. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy and mellow. See you next time. Bye. And this bottle, can it change your life? Or is it a small bottle of shampoo that I stole from the hotel? You decide. Answer in the comments. Gonna wash my hair now.